Welcome to another Wednesday episode of the Talking Shop podcast, brought to you today by Dr. Pepper and in a few minutes Taco Bell when it gets delivered
Uh,
to me by Aaron. I am Josh from Grand Slam Cards. Michael next to me from Medium Rare Cards. We are Jacob Lists today. Feel better soon, Jacob. And
oh boy, Josh has got the freezies. As
is my
Josh
camera?
was saying, whoop, there he goes. He's back.
Did my intro cut out?
It it did. I tried right when I started taking over for you. You came back. So
And I even restarted the computer. It's probably still firing up, but anyway, we're here to talk shop. I'm Josh. That's Michael. Jacob is sick with the flu, so we're giving him the episode off. We're going to talk some shop today with y'all. Michael's got a rundown, I'm sure, of what this episode entails, and I bet it has to do with some of this.
some
Top
of that is right. Welcome to episode 146. It's hard to believe that we're still doing this. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, or what I like to say, the Eagles practice against the Chiefs. Wow, what a game! And a little bit about that halftime show. I want to get your take, Josh.
You
In
really
hobby
don't.
news, we're going to talk about Wemby's first 100 games and the stats coming out of that. You're not going to believe those. Um, an interesting post by a very high profile person in the hobby, uh, claiming that the GOAT debate is over. And but we'll have to see which GOAT he's talking about. And then, everything about this episode is going to be revolving around Topps first flagship release of the year, Top Series 1. So let's get into it. Oh, what is that? A crunch wrap?
No, it's a quesadilla from Taco Bell.
Love some Taco Bell. Josh, thoughts on the Super Bowl? Did you watch it?
I did. I'm always so like everyone's got to be so extreme. It's like Mahomes is the new GOAT. The three-peat puts him ahead of Brady. Then he has a bad game because the Eagles defense is unreal. And now all of a sudden the GOAT debate is over. I'm
Yeah.
like, and I'm a Brady homer. Like Brady's the GOAT, will probably always be. But I'm open to the point of look, if Mahomes catches and wins 7 rings in a lot less time than Brady does, I'm open to giving him the GOAT. I've just always been like, pump the brakes. We got a lot of career left to name him the
Yeah,
GOAT.
a lot.
But I did say during the Super Bowl, when they got down 24-0, and even though that's not the 28-3 deficit that Brady was in, I said it's 24-0. If Mahomes comes back and wins this game and three-peats, I'll put him in the GOAT combo already.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't gain traction, and the
Yep.
Eagles earned that win.
Yeah. I've said this before in the podcast, and I wouldn't know from personal experience, but I'm guessing that being an NFL quarterback is really hard. That's why
Yeah.
there's only 32 of those jobs in the world, right? It's infinitely harder on your back in running for your life, which Mahomes did. I don't care who you are. I don't care who the quarterback was. It would
No
have
one
been
was beating the Eagles.
yeah.
No one was beating the Eagles.
Eagles played a flawless game. And Mahomes, that's as bad as I've ever seen Mahomes look. I think his passer rating was like 11.
Oof.
Yeah. But, it's hard winning Super Bowls, folks. And that's
And I'll even say
why
this.
it was just amazing that he already has 3 at such a young age. It's so hard to win. So,
And I'll even say this as Brady's the greatest of all time. I have to remind people too, because I watched almost every Brady game. there were games where the defense was eating up their line and he had no time and he looked like a third string backup.
Yeah.
No matter how good you are, if you are running for your life the moment you snap it, there's nothing you can do. And sometimes it just plays out that way. But
yeah, it's like when you're playing a video game, right?
Break.
You're playing a video game and you have your signature like combo, and then somebody figures out the defense for it, and then there's just really nothing you can do. I mean, that's what it looked like. It looked like a fighter that had put his best moves out there, and the other guy just had an answer for it, and then just wore him down afterwards. But let me get your take on this. Jalen Hurts now has more Super Bowls than anybody in his class, right? His rookie class. I don't think any of those guys out of that 2020 class has one.
Yep.
He's still he's what, 3 years younger than Mahomes.
Career-wise, yep.
Philly looks good. Prospects on Jalen Hurts and leading up to this, did you get a lot of requests for his stuff in the shop? Were you seeing any sort of buzz?
No, it's he for some reason has fallen into that. What's the term you've coined? It's kind of like a no man's land of like, do Eagles fans love him and they buy his cards? You know, if they're in this hobby, that but no one comes in. I get more people coming in for Herbert, Burrow, and Tua than I do Hurts, which is super strange. It's like he's not gotten the respect in the hobby that he deserves. I'm not a Hurts fan at all. And it makes you wonder, is it like, do things like the tush push really just turn people off? Or, why not? They've been always a playoff team with him. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, right? Yeah, he's been to 2 Super Bowls because he lost to Mahomes once, right? Yeah. I mean, you got to start putting him up there. I mean, he goes to the NFC Championship game a handful more times. Even if he never wins a ring, could easily be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and shame on me for not doing the research, right? But I'd venture to guess, but I'd have to look. And guys, we actually had Jeremy chime in. What's up, Jeremy? How's it going? If he's more desirable than like a Brock Purdy now. Like Brock had like a terrible year last year, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do well. Or Trevor Lawrence. Or, I don't know what it is. Actually, I have my theories. I think it's because he's an Alabama quarterback. But
I've always felt like it's because sometimes the quarterback doesn't get the love in his first few years when they feel like they're winning despite the quarterback. And I'm not that he's a detriment in any way, but he's not.
That's a good point.
Mahomes wins, and it's like because he does Mahomes-like things, and he comes back. But every Super Bowl Mahomes has won, he's had a double-digit deficit that he's overcame, and like he's done some magical things. I think it's always been like the run game and the defense and everything else kind of just it's this whole team, and Jalen doesn't do anything crazy. Maybe he's in the shadow of Burrow and Herbert from that class.
Yeah, that's part of it. He's not flashy, right?
Right.
He has to have the right tools around him. He's really not real vocal, so he doesn't have a strong take on anything. But man, that dude can play some quarterback. All right, on to the juicy stuff. Did you see the halftime show? Did you care about the halftime show? Do you have a take?
I'm one of these fuddy-duddies. I refuse to watch halftime shows. So we had a Super Bowl party at my church where we've done the trade show in the past. There's a kind of, they call it the parlor. There's like a fireplace and a TV and some couches and stuff. We hung out in there while the women and children and whoever else played out in the gym. And I went and did gym cleanup during halftime. So I saw none of the halftime show. I have zero desire to.
When I was younger, I always thought I'd always didn't care about the halftime show because thinking back and looking back, it was always, I thought, geared towards older folks. I can remember who was it? The Who and the Rolling Stones. More recently,
Michael Jackson.
More recently, Dr. Dre. But now, in the last few years, it seems to have skewed towards the younger crowd, which to me doesn't make any sense because most of your viewership is going to be older. So, I mean, yeah, there's a whole lot of back and forth between, what's his name? Kendrick Lamar and Drake and all this stuff and all that drama. And I could care less about that stuff. I just didn't know whether or not you had a take on it. I want them to bring back sort of this is me getting old, some old folk music stuff that I can.
I just don't listen to hip hop. Like I couldn't tell you who Kendrick Lamar was. Like I just don't listen to today's music. And Avery's comment there.
Why would you think that was? Yeah. Why would you say that was the best one?
I'm trying to think. Like, would there be a performance that would make me sit through a halftime show? So I have a huge annoyance with choreographed dancing. I think it's the most cringe, childish, stupidest thing out there. So anything choreographed dancing really grinds my gears. And so there's not much for a halftime show that would make me stick around and watch. And I was trying to think if there would be a performance that I would say, I want to watch that. But I'm also the guy that I love music, but even my favorite bands, I don't even like to go watch them perform in concert.
Yeah. I think we're due. I'm going to call it. We're due for like a grunge halftime show. So let's bring back Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, tough on Nirvana, but Soundgarden, that
Aerosmith.
genre. Oh man, that would be probably the most viewed halftime show ever. I saw a stat. The most viewed halftime show ever was the Dr. Dre halftime show. I think it was like 2 years ago. So
yeah, I think Tristan makes a good point. They know they have the older audience. They're trying to attract the younger audience. So I'm sure that's a big part of it. But I don't know. I just don't like halftime shows. I'm an old fuddy-duddy.
Well, before we leave the opening rip, did you see this? It's called Hobbybox. It's an app, hobbybox.app. And I wish I could scrub through the other episodes that we've done, because I swear in one of them you said, why doesn't somebody make an app for the vendors so that you could see their inventory at the show? Didn't you say that? I think you did. I'm going to give you credit, but let me play this real quick right here. Share this tab instead. So let me know if you could hear this, Josh.
Hobbybox makes it simple for collectors attending sports card shows and trade nights to bulk upload their inventory, so everyone at the event can easily find and buy cards. Upload hundreds of slabs in minutes, assign cards to events, check price comps, and get ready to wheel and deal.
Wheel and deal.
First, import cards to your inventory by taking a picture of up to 20 graded cards at a time. Watch the magic happen as we import all your cards at once. Newly imported cards will display at the top of your inventory section.
That's super cool.
Now let's add some cards to an event. Once you've imported your cards, Simply
Pretty
select the cards from your inventory and choose the event you want to add them to. Now input your location information so collectors can find you.
I mean, it's pretty smart.
When viewing any
It
card,
is. This is
look
great.
for the card location to find the owner. Then keep scrolling down to see the latest market sales,
Oh,
making it quick and easy to get a
there you
deal
go.
done. No more flying blind at sports card events. With HobbyBox, everyone in the room has a virtual dealer's table. Visit hobbybox.app for more information.
Here's the only catch, because I love it. The only catch is everybody's got to get on board, because you go to a card show and you're looking for a Tom Brady manga. You know, I've said that's always been one of my unicorn cards. Yeah, I can look at the HobbyBox app, see who's got one, or who all has one. But if I don't find one, that card could very well easily be at the show. So I guess that's just the negative way to look at it. The positive way to look at it is if someone happens to be on HobbyBox app, it makes it really easy for me to find them. I love the idea. It's a great idea. Do a little shopping before while you're waiting in line at the show. I'm going right into booth 533 because he's got the card I came for.
You know, I'm of the opinion that I don't even know if you would need to have everybody on, because I think the pressure of not being on that app would be too great. If you were the only person in a show that had that, I would just walk around with the HobbyBox app on a QR code, say, hey, just check this out. This is what's at my table. I just walk around with that. And then when everybody gets on board, even better, right?
Yeah.
For me, I think this is a play. It looks like they had eBay integration already, but somebody came up with this in the hopes of, I think, Fanatics buying them. That's what it feels like.
And I mean, all the cards have to be, I assume, have to be PSA graded, which limits it a little bit. Maybe there's, I would be shocked if there's not a way to manually add some cards as well. Yeah. I would think, but it is nice. You can take 20 cards at a time, and it scans it, and does all the.
Yeah, and it was pretty specific. It said your graded cards. I don't know if it said PSA. Okay. It said graded, but it would make sense that they would start with PSA and then move to other grading companies. And I guess if the photo was good enough, it would get the cert number and everything. It looked like an eBay integration. Super cool. Mm-hmm. I can't believe it's taken this long, but yeah, I think this is built to be acquired by Fanatics at some point, and then it being the official app of the National or something, or Fanatics Fest. That's what this feels. That's what this feels like. So
yeah,
I don't know. We gotta. Hey, this dovetails into something you wanted me to share. See.
Speaking of card shows,
yeah,
everybody's wondering when our next one is. We've got it on the books. There it is, April 12th. One change. It's at a new location. So instead of being at Woodhaven Baptist Church this time, it's going to be at Sisk Memorial Baptist Church in Fort Mill. So not super close to the shop, but not far away either. Fort Mill will be a great location for a bunch of people to come to. So mark it on your calendars. Jeremy's info is on the screen right now. He's probably listening to the podcast. Call or text him if you want a table. You know, the niche for this show is that it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to set up. I know some of these local shows are costing now hundreds of dollars for a table, where ours is much less. So Jeremy over at Top Sports Promotions is putting that on in conjunction with us, and sponsored by us.
I think a good idea for this show, and Jeremy, I don't know how much, I know that you were in the chat. I don't know how much legwork is required to get onto the HobbyBox app it'd be cool to see if we could maybe beta test that Hobby Box app and see if we can get this show onto that app and add some cards. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun little experiment. So
sounds like great homework for Jeremy.
yes. All right, let's get a little word from our sponsor.
Are you looking to get your cards graded? Well, here at Grand Slam, we've simplified the process of submitting and getting a card graded. All you have to do is drop off your cards and kick your feet up, while our transparent tracking ensures that you are up to date with every detail along the way. When you log into our website, you'll immediately be greeted with each card in the grading process, along with where it's at in the process and its final grade. And with over 1,000 submissions and some of the top cards across the country being submitted through us, we have become a well-trusted source to handle and submit your cards. So you can do more collecting and leave the chore of grading to us. So don't sit on grading your cards. Get them submitted today at Grand Slam, where grading's made easy.
All right, let's jump into hobby news. The first story, and I saw this, posted it to our group chat, and thought it was bananas. I can't do it justice, but there's some stats here, and then we'll talk about Wemby.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Here, let me just reload it. Here we go.
I actually saw this and thought of this show. I'm glad you found it.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the comparison to other superstars from years past. Wemby has been absolutely absurd. Through his first 100 games, he has more points than LeBron James, Kevin Durant, or Allen Iverson. More three-pointers made than Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, or Kyrie Irving. More rebounds than Anthony Davis, Charles Barkley, or Kevin Garnett. More blocks than Dikembe Mutombo, Shaq, or Hakeem Olajuwon. He was Rookie of the Year, and he's on pace to be the Defensive Player of the Year this year. The scariest part about all of it is this is probably the worst version of him we will see in his career, and he is just getting started. Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, that's almost mind-boggling.
The one that really threw me for a loop is the three-pointers.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched a minute of him play live on television. I didn't realize that he was also a shooter. I just thought he was a big guy that sits around and poaches.
No, I knew he could shoot, but if you said more three-pointers than Steph Curry through the first 100 games, my brain would go to Steph probably didn't shoot a lot, or Steph was on the bench. They didn't realize what Steph was at the time. But when you throw in Klay Thompson, you could say, all right, well, I mean, man, two guys now. Then you throw in Kyrie Irving. I'm like, these are all shooters. These are some guys they knew were going to be good right out of the – and like you said at the end, this might be the worst version of Wemby, because I think he's saying that, meaning that the team around him will get better. He'll physically get stronger and put on more weight. I mean – crazy. And the reason I was a little bit late to the podcast, this isn't a huge card, but this is a numbered rookie roundup card that a customer just pulled out of Contenders Optic.
Wow.
But so yeah, I mean, I'm a fan, and I'll tell you this, the Topps Finest and Topps Chrome basketball and Topps Cosmic basketball, everyone's poo-pooing it because it's not licensed, but in a few years, that's going to be the only product that has Wemby rookie autos in it. And then, it's unlicensed, but it doesn't matter. If you want a Wemby rookie auto, you're not getting a licensed one. So his unlicensed product will be very desirable.
What's crazy is traditionally the hobby is not crazy about big guys. Like, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Is he considered
a freak?
Yeah, he's a freak of nature. But I mean, think about it. Like, other than him, man, we're not really crazy about Jokic. We're not really crazy about
Giannis.
Giannis.
It took Giannis winning a ring before people got crazy about him.
Yeah. I mean, we blew through last week's episode, didn't even talk about the Luka trade, but don't sleep on the fact that didn't De'Aaron Fox go to the Spurs?
Oh, I didn't hear.
Yeah. So now Wemby's got it. I mean, it's crazy. I'm not the biggest basketball guy. Like I went on this sort of Tatum thing for a while. And so I paid attention to basketball a little bit, and I've always been a Kyrie guy. But yeah, this guy's amazing. We showed that dunk last week with Jaw over him, which he made Jaw look like a fifth grader. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully he'll and here took the words right out of my mouth. I hope he stays healthy. Puts on, I don't know. He could probably stand to put on 50 pounds and he'd still look skinny.
Yeah. I mean, he needs to keep his quickness. You don't want him beefing up like late career Shaq. You want him to be like rookie Shaq. You look back now and you think is skinny compared to Shaq now, but you just need him to be a little stronger. And like Jeff says, if he can stay healthy, he'll be a beast for years. And Andrew makes a good point too. We all know, the hobby is just not crazy about pitchers, which is it's what gives me a little hesitation about going so nuts for skiing stuff. Even though skiing is just unreal, but all it takes is that inevitable Tommy John, and then they kind of fall off the radar for a little while. And, the Clayton Kershaws of the worlds and the, DeGrom and all these guys that are just amazing pitchers. I mean, look at Jake Arrieta did for us Cubbies in that 2016 run. I mean, you could argue maybe the best half season a pitcher ever had. I mean, and no one's ever heard of him after that, so.
Well, in the comments, let us know. After seeing or knowing about these numbers coming out of the first 100 games, does that change the way you're going to collect Wemby? Because if you look at all the names that video talked about, I believe they're all in the top 75 of all time, if not the top of all time. So he's off to a great start. Hopefully the kid stays healthy. All right, next video.
It's the GOAT.
Yeah, so this is and I'll play the audio here in a second, but this is from Probstein Auctions. And if you're just watching, if you're just listening, there's a the guy at Probstein Auctions is showing a video of this person on eBay saying, "Please cancel my bid ASAP. My 3-year-old accidentally bid $100,000. Please cancel now." And I think, what was it? Was this it? This could not be for this Patrick Mahomes card. Let's see.
But it's gotta be because it's right there. But that's a big card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me.
Here we go. Yo, Proby, please cancel my bid. My 3-year-old grabbed my phone from me and bid $100,000. Please cancel now. Thanks, Mikey Mike. Stained glass Patrick Mahomes, of course. Okay, listen up, dude. First of all, get a grip. Okay, literally. Second, you're a liar. And third, why are you buying Mahomes when you know that the GOAT is my boy, TB12?
Here you go.
Here you go. Yo, Pro.
I thought that was very, very entertaining.
Yeah, that's the old my kid made my bid. It's like if I had a nickel for every time I had heard someone say that or hear about someone claiming their kid made a bid, please cancel. Man, I even heard a customer in the store one time say, I think he was bidding up his friend's card or something on eBay. And we're like, well, what if you accidentally win it? I'll just tell him my kid bid it. I was like, it's like my dog ate my homework. It's the eBay way to cancel. My kid made the bid.
Yeah. Look, there's going to be overreactions and underreactions and just reactions. But correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. There was a stretch where Brady did not win a Super Bowl for 10 years, correct?
Correct.
And so
in fact,
I think
that's when I was when people would call me a bandwagoner, I'd look and I'd be like, dude hasn't won a Super Bowl in like 8 years. Like, how am I a bandwagoner?
Right. Right. So that's,
I
think that will be the test. I think that's part of the reason why not only certainly the seven rings, right? He's won 7 Super Bowls. That's a large chunk of it. But the longevity and staying relevant for the 10 years he didn't win a Super Bowl. Like, still.
Sure, yeah.
And so can Mahomes stay relevant even when he's not winning? I think
he's got to be in that title game.
Absolutely.
I've been watching a lot of old school Brady stuff because it's been popping up on my feed lately on YouTube, and it's like there were a lot of those years he was in the title game or the AFC game, and he'd lose it to Manning a couple times and lose it to the Ravens once. It's like, but he's always in that title game. You kind of always got to flirt with that title game to stay relevant, and then sneak yourself a couple Super Bowls in there. Remember, I said throughout Mahomes' career and throughout this dominant stretch, you're going to get a few guys sneak one in there. This year it was Hurts. You know, one year it's going to be Burrow. One year it's going to be Allen. One year it's going to be Lamar. There'll be another offshoot guy somewhere in there. Mahomes will get another 1 or 2. But Mahomes could go through the next 6, 7, 8 years without winning one and still be okay if he plays as long as Brady does. But it's just like, I just think it's a stat like Ripken, Iron Man streak. There's just some things that are they're just not going to get broken. And I think 10 Super Bowls and winning 7 and doing it with even another team. And again, that 28-3 comeback against the Falcons in the Super Bowl, a lot of people are saying that's kind of the one thing that then solidified him as the GOAT. And then he went on to win a couple more.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I mean, and I heard some discussions in the card world that shed light on the fact that leading up to the Super Bowl, Brady's market had softened a little bit. Like, there's actually some good values out there for some higher end Brady's. I don't know if you felt that. I know you've been recently on a little bit of a buying thing at some shows. Did you find that some of the Brady stuff was a little more affordable these days? Or you don't even look at prices? You're just like, give me that card. I don't care how much it is.
Yeah, there's some of that. I know just it's in the ballpark, and I'm not a big haggler, but we're going to talk about these. These are all numbered Brady rookies that we picked up. These are going to be on the eBay page. So I was told by the eBay guys, pump these a little bit. They're all numbered to 2,000 or less, or they're all numbered to 2,000. And so we've got a handful of them here. And so, yes, I can't afford to buy every Brady that comes through, but I do have this card already.
Super cool.
So these are going to be on the eBay page, and they're not crazy. I mean, these are, I want to say $350 a piece, maybe something like that. But yeah, I mean, his stuff has softened a little bit, especially with retiring and knowing he's not gonna get any more rings. But I guess maybe it was softening because people thought maybe his GOAT status was going to get threatened. But I think when you see that performance of Mahomes, you're like, a lot of people finally went, okay, slap me back into Brady's the GOAT. Mahomes was kind of, smoke and mirrors a little bit. Not that Mahomes isn't awesome. I think he could end up being the second greatest of all time, but still a long ways to go. And my favorite Brady stat, we've talked about this before. My kid the other day, my second oldest, was like, how many Super Bowls? He saw me watching a Brady video on YouTube. He's like, how many Super Bowls does he has? And I said, he got 7. He went to 10. Oh, man, I didn't know that. I said, his stats in his 20s are Hall of Fame worthy. We've talked about that. Then if you took just his stats when he was in his 30s, you have another Hall of Fame career. And then you take just his stats and accomplishments in his 40s, he's got another Hall of Fame career. The dude had 3 Hall of Fame careers in one career. Wow. I just think it's a record that won't be broken. It's like it's going to be the Jordan complex. Jordan will always be the greatest of all time, regardless of what LeBron does with statistics.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Mahomes won't turn 30 until next year. And so he'll have another 10 years to hammer out.
If he plays to 40.
Yeah, to hammer out a legacy. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, before we jump into Top Series 1, I sort of shortchanged you. I know that's the big release this week, but did we have any other releases that are hitting the shelves this week at Grand Slam?
Yes. In fact, Panini 3-2 Baseball released today under the shadow of Top Series 1. So that's
Panini,
on the shelf. If you follow the
Panini.
Facebook or Instagram page, you would have seen a picture of that. Let's see what else was today. WNBA Prism Basketball was today. I wouldn't be doing the hobby due diligence if I didn't mention that, because that's a big release. It's just one, because we've never carried WNBA and I'm a smaller shop. I didn't get it allocated any of it. Friday is, if Jeremy's listening, one of his favorite products, and I say that sarcastically, but Leaf History Book. That's a pretty juicy Leaf unique product that comes out Friday. So we'll have that. It's the type of product that has like the checklist has like Clint Eastwood and Al Pacino, Margot Robbie, Ben Stiller, Anthony Hopkins, Ozzy Osbourne, Stallone, bunch of Hollywood history legends. So cut autos from John Wayne, Paul Newman, Robert Redford, and many more.
Cool.
But yeah, so Topps Finest UFC. I actually will have some of that. We have a few people that are excited for that. And then Michael, your favorite Garbage Pail Topps Chrome is Friday as well. So
yes, awesome. Are you getting any of that, Josh?
We will have all of those except for WNBA.
Good.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. You'll have the UFC?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Did you get in touch with Chris Weidman so you can open a box in the shop?
Yeah. I should have got his number when he was in. He's been in a couple times, and I don't want to be that guy, but
I get it. I get it.
We've teased Topps Chrome football is next week. I got some of that coming. It's unlicensed, but it's Topps Chrome football, so it should be pretty good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you said that was UFC Topps Finest UFC?
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what that looks like. All right, guys. Finally, we've gotten to the part of the program, the episode talking about Top Series 1. Josh called this card. He called it. What was it? 2 weeks ago? He said it. He said it on an episode. And I'm going to go ahead and put this.
Oh, that's right.
You said
I had no knowledge of this.
Right? You're like, because we were bringing up the Ripken, the Billy Ripken fun face variant that Jackson Holiday was in. And you're like, you know what they should do? They should do the same thing for the Frank Thomas card. And lo and behold, boom. And not only are they doing this for the Frank Thomas card, this is upset. This is going to be a thing in this set to where, and if you guys are just listening, I've got the Shohei 1990 retro card, the base card, and then the no name error variation is going to be short printed. So in honor of the Frank Thomas no name error card, they're bringing this back to this set. Thoughts on this set? And how has it been selling today, Josh?
It's been selling well today. I've been doing the podcast and I can hear the door dinging here and there, so that's good. But my only complaint, it's my only complaint. I wish they would have only done it with Frank Thomas, and I wish they would make it an SSP. It needs to be really hard to pull in honor of the original. That's near impossible. Just keeps resale value up and makes it fun. I have a feeling like you're going to get a no-name card in like every box, and I hope.
So here's the thing, Josh. I'll cover the odds of it, and I'll get to that. I promise on how rare that card is going to be. But let's just take a look at this. This isn't from Beckett, because what I really wanted to know from guys that really knew about Baseball America, great podcast, by the way. They actually covered this release on Baseball America, and I wanted to see who they thought were the top rookies in this set. The good news is there are several top rookies. The quote unquote bad news, especially if you're trying to buy into breaks and hoping that the wealth is spread, 2 of the top rookies are for the Nationals. So that national spot in every break is going to be pretty coveted. This is one of the guys, James Wood. The other guy for the Nationals is Dylan Cruz.
Okay. I figured Cruz might be a chaser in this first series.
Yeah. So James Wood, if you guys followed him through from when he was in Bowman, he started with the Padres. Now he's with the Nationals. Dylan Cruz, superstar out of LSU. And then a couple of the other hitting prospects, Kobe Mayo for the Orioles and Jacob Wilson for the Athletics. A couple of the pitching prospects, you've got Rhett Lauder for the Reds, Spencer Swellenbach from my Braves, David Festa for the Twins, and Hurston Waldrop for the Braves. Shocker, the Braves. Good pitching, right? And then let me scroll through here. Again, the throwback design is from 1990. And we announced this several episodes back, but that Barry Bonds is signing again with Topps. Could you imagine pulling this card? How cool would that be?
Yeah,
to pull a Barry
I can't wait
Bonds
till a
auto.
customer hits a Barry Bonds auto and I can take a picture of it here.
Oh yeah. So if you guys are just listening, we've got the Barry Bonds throwback auto. Shohei, we talked about him being the number 1 card. This is actually a wood grain.
Yeah, the wood framed. I've heard about those.
Yes. Here's an interesting parallel, right? And these are called jersey number parallels. And they're numbered to the jersey number. So for Gunnar, there's only 2 of these guys, which is
I love the idea.
Cool. Yeah, Bobby Witt, I think he was the cover boy for this episode. All his are numbered to 7. Pretty rare. You've got the Dancing Dodgers. Have you seen this subset, Josh? To where they'll short print Shohei and Freddie and Mookie and the Dodgers doing their little on-base dance. So I just wanted to show some of those, and obviously you've got some other inserts that we just don't have time to carry. Let me just see. Pull this up here real quick. So you're saying that this has been selling nicely in the shop so far?
Yeah, I just if I'm a little distracted, a customer bought one of those Panini 3 and 2 boxes and sent me a picture of this. It's one of the and 2s that's a Skeens numbered to like 75 or something like that. So sent that to me. That was pretty good.
Nice. All right, so
check out this patch. It's the Andrew, if you're watching, you'll appreciate this. This is the it's a Cubs patch, but there's the B and the S.
Oh wow.
That's Matt Shaw, prospect or rookie for the Cubs. But
that's
sick
disgusting.
Patch. So
disgusting. All right. Let me switch you back around here. So you're wondering how you're like, I wish the no-name variations were a tough pull. Josh, they're actually a pretty tough pull. It's 1 out of 6,389 packs.
Okay. Joey Gentry posted limited to 35 copies. Does that sound right for those? I believe believe he commented that when we were talking about those no names. So
Yeah,
could
I
they,
have no idea
while
what
they
they're
might
limited
not
to,
be
but
numbered, maybe that's the print run is 35
Yeah.
maybe, but
yeah. Let's see.
Andrew's asking the price range of the original no name Frank Thomas. It's thousands.
Yeah.
Obviously, condition's going to play a factor, but the rumor that I heard is that the reason it's so hard to pull or so hard to find and it's so valuable is because only like 300 got printed before they caught it and fixed it. And then apparently those 300 were not supposed to make it out into circulation from what, PR price range print run. You said they were impossible to hit. So going back, well, I guess it's going back to what I'm saying now. So I think they think there's maybe 300 out in the wild, and if you think of the amount of cards in 1990 that were produced, then that's not many at all. And you got to think a lot of those got thrown away, and never saw the light of a hobby shop. But in 8 years here, I've never seen one come through the door. I've never seen one ever in this store. I've only seen one at a show. So they're out there. It was kind of like this, what do they call it? A wives' tale or a legend or a fable. Does that card actually ever even exist, or is it just like rumored to exist? But I have seen it in person at shows. But they're usually thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah. A couple other, let's see. So home field advantage, actually a fairly hard card to hit. It's like 1 in 228 packs. The Dancing Dodgers, you're going to see those fairly regularly. It's 1 in 92. The Barry Bonds auto. If you hit one of those, you've done something special. It's 1 in 19,000 packs.
Wow.
The Barry Bonds auto. Heck, the Frank Thomas autos are 1 in 74,000 packs.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's some fun autos that are actually easier to hit than the Barry Bonds auto. Did you know that Jason Kelsey and Larry David were in this set? Not Larry David. Yeah, Larry David. You know who that is? Larry David.
Yeah, he's the actor, comedic actor.
Yes. Yeah. So, there's a couple celebrity autos here. And then obviously for us normal people that aren't going to be finding these, because we all know that the big breakers will, right, Josh? The super rare cards. You're going to have your Independence Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day. My favorite, Memorial Day camo. So those are some rare cards that you may see more of just because they're easier to hit. So that's Topps Series 1. Any thoughts on Topps Series 1? Are you going to be doing a break? Did you get enough of that? Enough product to be able to do a break?
Got a lot of product. I want to give it time for the shelves. You know me, I like to let the locals come in and grab it. We're gonna do some, if there's any left, which I think there should be, because I'm able to get a little bit more retail of it for our upcoming trade night / rip night. So we're gonna have some set aside for that night so we can do some fun stuff with it. So that's a plug for, I don't know if you had a spot for me to plug Topps hobby night / trade night here at the shop from 5 to 8 or 5 to 9, however long people want to hang out. But we'll have some set aside for that night. So I want to make sure I got enough for everybody that comes over in the next few days and the weekend. And I want to make sure we got enough for trade night here at the shop. So
awesome.
We'll see about
Andrew,
breaking. Not my favorite part to break.
Yes, they are still doing the golden mirror. I think that's going to be a thing. I think it's been such a hit and so well received that they're going to continue that. So yes, the golden mirror SSP is still going to be there, and I think there's like 200 of those for every player. So not impossible, but not likely. So, all right, guys, if you've made it this far, thanks. Like, comment, subscribe, leave us a review. Josh, take us on out with crazy stat of.
I do have a crazy stat or two. This is a funny stat. So did you know that this is Mahomes' Super Bowl record? When he's playing Tom Brady, it's 0-1. When Tom Brady is announcing, he's 0-1. But whenever Tom Brady is not involved in Patrick Mahomes' Super Bowl, he's 3-0. So we know who the GOAT's kryptonite is. Let me this was kind of eye-opening to me. So let's look at this. So passing yards this year, Bo Nix had more than Jaden Daniels. Passing touchdowns, Bo Nix had more. Total touchdowns, Bo Nix had more. Wins, they had the same. SOS, probably some sort of winning percentage. Whatever it meant, it was better because Bo had more. And a tougher division based on record and stuff was Bo. And he didn't get even one single vote for Rookie of the Year. That's
crazy.
A crazy stat. And then I'll end with this one. I don't know if you remember Mark Lemke of the Braves back in the day. So Mark Lemke had 3,664 plate appearances during his career, and he was never hit by a pitch. It says this is easily the MLB record. It says, but what about his 257 postseason plate appearances? Nope, not one single hit by pitch. So they're calling him the no-hit king because he never got hit.
He's unhittable. Well, Josh, I know today was busy. Thanks for taking some time out. Jacob, see you back next week. And guys, see ya.
Come see us at the shop and come to trade night. Coming soon.